consequence of the pandemic-induced shift to online shopping, global supply chain disruptions, and a labor shortage have created a perfect economic storm that has significantly impacted the e-commerce industry. However, amidst these challenging times, SMBs have found themselves uniquely positioned to take advantage of the surge in online sales during the holiday season. Hi everyone, this is Maheen from Canadian SME's Small Business Magazine. We recently got the chance to chat with Mikel, the CEO and founder of StoreConnect, a Salesforce AppExchange solution that, along with Salesforce, provides the world's most powerful SMB e-commerce solutions. Mikel's experience ranges from network infrastructure design to VOIP and telephony to custom web application development and running successful SaaS businesses. In this episode, Mikel shared his thoughts on how e-commerce is the best way for small businesses to meet customers. Hi, Mikel. On behalf of Canadian SME, I'd like to welcome you to our Small Business Podcast. How are you today?
I'm excellent. Thank you for having me.
Very pleased to have you with us this afternoon. Now, Mikel, e-commerce provides small businesses with a very powerful platform to reach their target customers, maximize their success, and its accessibility and convenience make it the ideal choice for companies striving for growth in today's digital landscape. Can you share with our audience why do you think e-commerce is the best way for small businesses to meet customers in this age?
Yeah, so, the traditional e-commerce has been all about, selling these phones or mugs or caps or what have you. But I think the current age that we live in, post this little virus that we had going around, everyone started really interacting online. And if you don't have an e-commerce site these days or a very advanced website, you really don't exist in many cases. Shoppers will go online and check out a website or check out reviews and get this sort of information well in advance of contacting you in many cases. And even if you're not a traditional e-commerce brand, you should still have a very strong e-commerce presence. I can think of a classic example like a professional services firm or something like that that's selling a, termite inspection or something, right? It's something that you wouldn't consider you're going to buy from an e-commerce website. That organization could still have some sort of introductory service or a way for a customer to do some research and book in an on-site visit or an inspection, and maybe no money changes hands at that point, but it's still a transaction. You're still exchanging information, getting that customer, getting them on brand, and getting them engaged with your business. And I think it's critical these days. If you're a small business and you're not addressing how to get online, then you're really leaving a wide raft of your customers in the dark. They're never going to find you. They won't contact you. And really, when you think about it, today, a e-commerce website and your ability to be online is just as important as a beautiful shop front or a display window or a listing in the old pages. It's something it's critical for small businesses.
Mm-hmm. And you're right. I mean, SMBs are faced with, unique challenges in the era of convenience, which is really how to properly managing those skyrocketing online scales. But let's hear from you more, as you're the expert in this field. Mikel, what are the current challenges of SMBs in managing the increase in online sales?
This is really interesting because as a business, for me, we've really started focusing in on this area. And what we found when we started talking to a lot of small businesses is the challenge isn't that they can't find the right tool or the right platform to do this or to do that. It's easy to set up a website these days. It's easy to set up an online store. It's easy to set up a support portal. It's easy to set up a marketing funnel. The challenge is actually, how do you get all those things talking to each other? And what I think that SMBs and SMEs are hitting is you're dealing with a competitive landscape that is massive. I mean, you're going into direct competition with the likes of Amazon, of Google, of these massive retailers, Walmart, eBay, who have got millions of dollars to spend on these integration toolings and setups. And as a small to medium enterprise, you need to be really smart about where do you spend your time. And where you don't want to be spending your time is making sure that computer system A is talking to computer system B. If you're spending time on that integration, That's time that you're not spending on winning a new customer. And I really think that that is the challenge that's hitting this space right now. It's not the tools that are available, it's the integrations that are available. And the hidden cost of this integration is both time and money. And that's what we've heard from our customers.
Mm-hmm. And also, to stay competitive, small businesses can also and must embrace the digital age by really investing in e-commerce platforms to provide customers with a very convenient shopping experience. Mikel, what return on investment can small businesses get from using integrated e-commerce platforms like StoreConnect?
This is good because there's the obvious benefit of, well, we can now sell online. We can get that customer that otherwise wouldn't have come to us. And, that's fantastic. But many of our customers have come to us and said, hey, we're seeing $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 worth of savings by moving onto a platform like what we offer. I don't want to toot my trumpet too loudly here, but, this whole integrated system means that you're not paying staff to get computers to talk to computers. And this is a critical thing that I think gets overlooked. When you're building a store or you're building a marketing platform or a support portal, if those systems aren't talking to each other natively and they're not really one system, then you're either going to be paying some other software company to make them talk to each other, or you're going to be paying your staff to make them talk to each other. So the return on investment with a integrated e-commerce system really comes down to freeing up your staff to not be doing double data entry, not be trying to figure out which copy of this contact record is the correct one because the person updated it on the support side or the e-commerce website or whatever, and not losing products in between. You're able to free that staff member up to focus on customer service or marketing or support. And that's a major return on investment.
Right. Now, StoreConnect also that they have an integrated e-commerce 3.0 that functions links with Salesforce's industry-leading CRM systems. Let's learn more about this platform and how can the e-commerce 3.0 improve revenue for small businesses?
Yeah. So look, here's a really great example. I'm sure everyone watching has gone and purchased something online, and then 10 minutes later, there's an ad that pops up that says, hey, you should really come and buy this thing. Or they get an email saying, here's 10% off the thing you just paid us full price for, right? Nothing infuriates a customer more than that. I know I've had it myself, and everyone I mention it to has experienced this. And that's just an own goal. You're literally telling the customer, we really don't care about you. It would have been better if you didn't buy the product just then because we would have given you 10% off, right? And it leaves a sour taste in the customer's mouth. And really, honestly, the customer probably doesn't even care about the extra $5 or $10. That's not the point. The point is that the communication was wrong. It's a break in the reality of the customer that you would be offering them a discount after they've bought it. I mean, could you imagine that happening in a point of sale retail environment? You buy the product, and as you're walking out, the person goes, oh, here's 10% off the thing you just bought. You'd be like, what are you talking about? So where StoreConnect comes into its own with Salesforce is you're combining this very, very powerful customer relationship management platform that really can program and run your whole business with the marketing tools that come with that, with the purchasing data that's coming from StoreConnect on site. So you can be very smart about what emails you're sending to which clients based on their purchase history, as opposed to just blanket communications. Blanket communications used to work. They don't really work anymore. As a customer, I'm really expecting you, I don't care how big you are, but when you communicate to me, I don't want to get a communication about something I've already purchased at a discount. I want to know about the next thing I should purchase at a discount. And doing that with existing tools, e-commerce tools, is really hard because the small business doesn't have time to do it. They're too busy doing what they love. They want to be out there helping their customers or working with their teams and building their business. They don't want to be doing data entry between all these systems of every purchase you've made into every other system. So that's where StoreConnect and Salesforce, with that combination, really pushes the process forward. It really allows that customer to spend their time well.
Right. And
that's the key.
No, it really can, really revolutionize. It has that potential to the way orders are processed, right? Like allowing for a very faster and more efficient process than ever before. Michael, let's expand on this more. Like, how can Store Connect's technology scale the orders from, let's say, 3,000 per month to 35,000 orders in 2 days?
You must have read our blog.
Yes.
It was a story actually of one of our customers who they built their platform on top of StoreConnect and on top of Salesforce. And they had an opportunity to put a product online that was in incredibly high demand back during the days of COVID. And they didn't even tell us that they were doing it. And I don't think they had any idea of the demand that would come. But they normally do about 3,000 orders per month, right? So just goes through 3,000 orders every month, which is about 36,000 orders a year. And they put this product online and they received 35,000 orders in the next 36 hours, right? It went from an order every 15 minutes to one every couple of seconds. Now, because StoreConnect is built on top of Salesforce, and Salesforce is an enterprise-grade platform, our system just scaled up automatically, handled that load, and scaled back down at the other end. So we didn't drop a single order. The website stayed accessible. They received those 36,000 orders. They then scrambled for 3 weeks to fulfill them all because they weren't scaled up in staff to handle that. But the fact that they could have the trust that the platform is not going to break underneath them, I tell this to many small business customers that they're not going to outscale Salesforce, right? I mean, Salesforce is used by the biggest organizations in the world, and it's the same infrastructure that runs the big clients, that runs the small ones. So that small business can scale as far as they want, which is a really interesting side note to this sort of thing, in that when you're a small business, you want to pick a platform that can grow with you, right? You don't want to be 2 years down the track and go, okay, well, what do we do now? Do we re-platform everything? And when you think about re-platforming a business, it's sort of like replacing all 4 wheels on the car and the engine while you're driving down the freeway, right? It's crazy. So you want to do that as few times as possible. And so that's one of the reasons why we developed StoreConnect on top of Salesforce, because we wanted to give our small business customers something that could start really, really small, but then just grow with them as they expand and improve their business.
Great example there, Michael. Now, let's suppose a small business has been given the green light to reach new customers and expand its product offering by taking their sales online. What advice would you give to a small business who's looking to start selling products online?
There's all the obvious ones, like, make sure that you know what your customers are looking for and the search engine optimization on the keywords that they're after, and survey your customers, or your potential customers. Ask them, well, if you're buying a product like this, what do you look for? What do you think is a good product, or what's associated with a good product in this area? Ask your customers what they're expecting. That's the number one thing, because if you can get that survey back, and you don't have to survey thousands, it's like 20 or 30 will start giving you a really good understanding of what they like about the purchasing experience and what they don't like about the purchasing experience. So I would survey your customers as the number one. But I think the number two problem is, don't forget to add the cost of how much time it will take your staff to keep all the various systems working together, right? There are a lot of really good e-commerce platforms out there. StoreConnect is by no means the only one. It's a massive market. Fantastic products out there that work really well for different use cases. But when you're going ahead to go and build those, you really need to take a look at how much time or money is going to be spent in making sure system A talks to system B, and not just on an API layer. And what I mean by that is a computer-to-computer direct connection. You might have to buy some software in between. In fact, we had one customer talking to us who launched an e-commerce store on another platform and had a CRM that was running. And they were spending $10,000 a month on a piece of software that communicated between those two systems and kept them in sync. That just as an example. That cost $50 when they launched, right, per month. And it just grew out of control and they got more successful. And now that $50 a month spend is now $10,000 a month, right? So you need to have a look at what are the costs of all these different integration tooling systems that make sure that the data is being synchronized. And then on top of that, what are the costs that you're spending on your staff and their time to keep all these things working and talking to each other?
Right.
And I would really consider that as a number one priority if you're working out to go online, to really analyze what those costs are now and what would they be if you doubled in size, right? There's the other factor of that is if you have your staff doing data entry between all the systems to keep them working, they're probably not going to be very excited about that as a job. So we've actually had customers come to us and say the reason they're installing our software is they want to keep their staff. You know, it's like they want a single system that just works. They don't want them all going everywhere. So they're the two things that I'd consider. It's the time of the systems and the expense of the systems that you need to build it, and the time and therefore expense of your staff to maintain it as it grows.
Right. No, you've listed out some, great opportunities. Now, with these exciting opportunities, small businesses can really now open up a world of possibilities for growth for themselves. Mikel, it was a pleasure to have you join us on our podcast and add your voice to the conversation. We appreciate your insights and your very fresh perspective on how to sell online. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was really good to be here.
Pleasure mine. Mikel helped look into how small and medium-sized businesses are adapting to conditions that have never been seen before and using e-commerce to grow their businesses. The present difficulties that SMBs face in managing the surge in online transactions were also analyzed, along with how e-commerce 3.0 could enhance revenue for small businesses. We hope you enjoyed it. Once again, we would like to thank our exclusive banking partner RBC, exclusive shipping partner UPS, and our exclusive accounting software partner Xero for supporting this initiative. Please do share our podcast and please feel free to check out the other episodes. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the Canadian SME Small Business Magazine to stay up to date on all our upcoming events and get the top business insights from industry leaders. This is Maheen, your host for the Small Business Podcast.